Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another high rating spectate video. So today we're actually featuring Vi. We are doing this, by the way, on purpose because Vi's popularity has grown an insane amount, obviously because of the Arcane series. So right now you may be watching this video to learn a little bit more about the champion because you may be in the mood to play it because you've watched the show. So I'm hoping that this is going to be treated a bit like a gameplay guide. I'm going to kind of talk you through how to play the champion in the early game. Worth also noting, I have looked a little bit. This game doesn't start well for this Vi. So they're doing a level 1 invade, mainly to try to disrupt the Shaco's level 1. But unfortunately for the Vi, the whole enemy team collapses and she dies first blood. So that's usually not the start you want. But just to go over the basics, Vi is a bruiser jungler. Some people can play her top lane, but she's designed to be a jungler. And just to very quickly go over her rune set straight away. So Hail Blades is most of the time what you want. There is an Aftershock build that's floating around, but the Hail Blades is just the more reliable one for more consistent damage, etc. So it's Hail Blades into Sudden Impact, Zombie Ward with Relentless Hunter. There are little things you can change in this if you wanted to, but if you just wanted to copy that, it's completely fine. And then secondly, Triumph, Legend Alacrity, so that's for attack speed. Again, you can definitely change that to potentially the Tenacity one to not get crowd controlled as much. And then finally, attack speed, attack damage, and they're actually taking health. Again, you could take armor or magic resist if you feel that you need that instead. So starting level 1, Vi goes W. Some people may think that, you know, E is better level 1. Meanwhile, Zyra goes down. Again, the strength of a Draven in the early game on the enemy team. E is better if you want to reserve a little bit of health. But to be honest, Vi is fairly healthy in the jungle anyway. And you've got a couple health potions. W is where you're getting the most DPS down. Damage per second. E obviously helps you proc your passive, which gives a shield. So that does help you have a little bit more health throughout the jungle at level 1. But to be honest, I would just take W if you're having help from your bot lane killing the buff. So just to say and go very quickly over the abilities. So very bad start for blue team so far. Gwen dies in top. But Vi's passive, as we mentioned, is Vi gains a shield. This also scales as the game goes out. So it gains a shield for 3 seconds after hitting an enemy with an activated ability. So her W does not count. It's not an active ability. It's a passive ability. But her Q, E, and ultimate do count to proc this shield if it's not on cooldown. The Q, as we've seen it a couple times this game, is she charges herself as a big punch. She slows herself when she's charging it, but when she releases it, she dashes forward, and that knocks the target up, which is a great synergy, obviously, for a Yasuo in this game for later on. Her E, again, the W is an auto-attack passive ability that every third auto-attack, it does increased damage and also removes 20% of armor from that target. It also reduces the cooldown of the blast shield, which is the passive. And then the E is Relentless Force. This is the AoE clearing of Vi. She punches and a big shockwave happens after the punch. And she can hold 2 stacks of that at any given time. It refreshes every 12 or so seconds. And yeah, that's where she can get some AoE clearing, which is good. And finally, the ult, which we'll see later, is called Cease and Desist. Is she kind of locks a target. She charges to that target, you know, when she gets it on them, they cannot get away from it. And it'll knock her, knock everybody up in the path from Vi to that target and knock that individual target up as well. So that's Vi in a nutshell. AD Bruiser champion mixed with a little bit of burst, to be honest. She has, you know, she's not a basic mechanical auto-attacking champion. She does have mechanics. Her Q is an aimed ability that you can flash within it. That when you released it and you're traveling, you actually can flash at that time and it extends the range of the Q. So Shaco in the bot lane, Vi looking for it, does get the Q on the Shaco. You saw the knock-up happen. They have to be careful here. Draven heals, has yet to use it. They have to be careful. So yes, the enemy team is low. Shaco actually taking a tower hit. And Vi, there's the flash that I just spoke about, the flash mechanic. Unfortunately, a little bit too risky. She overcooks it and she actually doesn't manage to actually land the knock-up at all. So not a great start, obviously, for blue team. The benefit, I will say, that blue team has in many ways is scaling. So in top lane, Gwen and Camille. Camille is like the overpowered top lane pick right now. But if you're a very good Gwen, you can match a Camille in late game. Jungle, Shaco is definitely more early game orientated than Vi. Vi will outscale a Shaco. And same with mid lane, kinda. Yasuo is a much bigger carry than Lissandra is on the enemy team, but Lissandra is more an anti-carry. Lissandra stops things carrying by chain CCing them, so that's kind of the problem there. If Yasuo just gets chain CC'd, he can't carry. But if Yasuo doesn't, he can. And then in bot lane, yes, it's a very fair Draven, but naturally a Jhin will outscale a Draven 100%. But it just depends, does the game end too soon for that to happen? So Vi doing not bad in clearing, very even in farm with the Shaco right now. Scuttle Crab is going to be spawning any second. And the first dragon on the map is an Infernal Dragon. Both junglers collapse on the Scuttle Crab spawn. So at the beginning of the game, there's 2 scuttles that both spawn at the same time. From then on, only 1 scuttle, either one each side, will then spawn. So that's why both junglers ended up being in the same place, because they both went to the same area. Fight happening in mid lane. Yasuo actually kills the Lissandra solo. Vi is in the area. Obviously, Shaco is not a flash-taking champion, so he's already used his mobility to get to the fight. And now he's kind of stuck, and Vi with Yasuo get at a really nice time, and they take down the Shaco. Teleport coming in mid lane. Nice knock up by him. Nice knock up for the Lissandra. She's hit level 6, and she goes down. Mistake by her, really, for not ulting herself. If the Lissandra was quick enough when she leveled up, and again, this is a master level game, by the way. We are watching one of the best Vi's on EU West. For a master level mid laner, that Lissandra, to be honest, should have been, while leveling up in combat, she should have been able to level up her ultimate and use it instantly on herself. So that is obviously worth knowing. Very aggressive by the Vi that she's actually not backing off. She's wanting to invade a Shaco, who's definitely got strength over than a Vi right now. She actually gets ignited. She hits the Q on him, and she actually gets the Smite Steal. She ults the Shaco, who's a bit in trouble, and you can see the red trinket outline of Shaco. He didn't actually go back. He kind of stayed in the area. Unfortunately, though, Lissandra's on her way. Obviously, Camille came over, and they will all end up dying. So in essence, that Yasuo just obviously died in mid lane in that play earlier. All 5 of the blue team have just died within the last minute. That's not a great start to your game, obviously. So very bad bot lane it is happening for blue team. How are they going to recover this game? Well, we'll watch and see. Worth also noting, Sheen. So there are some champions, you're seeing a bunch in this game. Camille up here, Shaco. Any AD kind of orientated champion that uses abilities usually has great synergy with Sheen, because the item itself gets used when you use an ability, and then it goes off your next auto attack. It gives more on-hit damage. So for Vi, if she presses Q, that will proc Sheen for her next auto. If she even presses ultimate, or even if she presses E, her next auto after those will also proc the Sheen. Especially with the E, you press E, it's going to make Sheen proc, and when the E punches, it's going to use the Sheen. That's a really nice synergy right there. So they are potentially looking for a gank in mid lane. They have some, again, these 2 champions into the Q, into the Yasuo ultimate, and boom, the Lissandra's dead. Very, very nice, easy combo. Camille teleporting to try and help out, doesn't get there quick enough. Shaco, though, however, does get the dragon kill, which is an Infernal, so that's not bad for them. But yeah, insanely good synergy. There's a Vi and a Yasuo. Yasuo relies on people knocking things up for him to ult, and Vi can offer 2 different ways to knock somebody up. The Q, if she hits the Q in them, there's a very brief window of them getting knocked up, and also her ultimate. So very nice combo of Vi and Yasuo together. If you're playing with friends and you're picking up Vi, even though you've got to be careful with obviously playing Yasuo, he's a bit of a high-risk champion, they do clearly have a good combo together. So if one of your friends play Yasuo, you can play Vi, and make sure, like this game, you're using that synergy well. Item build, obviously for Vi, we'll see as the game goes on. I think she may be building Triforce. There are a few options for Vi. She can technically go Divine Sunderer as well, but that's a nice thing. I will say there are some champions in League that can build multiple mythic items. A lot of champions can't, but Vi is one of the champions that can. She's continuing her clear, and honestly, it's going all right. Like, again, not the start that they would have wanted. They're 2,000 gold behind. If you look at the top, they are 2,000 gold behind. They are 1 dragon down. But as we mentioned, they do have scaling on their side. Gank top lane. The ultimate by Vi, why did that get stopped? Well, Camille ulti, when she goes up in the air, she becomes unstoppable, so she does manage to get away. Honestly, if Vi used a flash there, flashed in front of the Camille's E or something, they probably could have got that kill, but alas, it was not to be. We can see Pyke, the support, is now top lane. Gwen knows he's top lane, so should probably back away, but is looking not like she's doing that. And now we know Shaco is in this bush. We just saw him on the minimap, and there we go. So is there going to be a big fight with these two champions? We will find out momentarily. Pyke does get the kill on Gwen, so that's not good by Gwen. And here we go. Enemy team is in tower range. Vi Qs, Shaco gets instant bursted. Is Yasuo dead? No, he's not. Last tick would have killed. If there was one more tick of Ignite, he would have died. He does not. Pyke, over aggressive. Wow, that's not good by the Pyke to do that. Very, very aggressive. And this is where the enemy team is now losing momentum. They are playing over what they need to do. They've got the lead right now. They don't need to risk too much, and they're risking everything. And especially that arguably blue team does scale better. Why would you risk big things like this? You shouldn't. You should. Yes, I know that the ideology might be we fall off compared to them. Let's be careful. Or, let's keep snowballing. Sorry, because we're going to get outscaled. But you don't want to risk stuff like that. Like that Pyke going into that jungle is just way too much. So they're going to be pushing this, I imagine, to use Rift Herald potentially. Okay, apparently not. A bit surprising, to be honest, that they're not using that Rift Herald in that moment. But that's why. The Scuttle Crab. So Scuttle Crab, still very important for junglers. If you notice the junglers over in the top corners, Vi is level 9. Shaco is level 7. Vi started this game 0-2. Shaco is 1-3-4. The Shaco is actually not doing that well anymore. Oh, it's Divine Sunderer. So yeah, Triforce could be, but it's gone Divine Sunderer instead. As I mentioned, you can do that on Vi also. So there we go. Because the weird thing with this game, Divine Sunderer, it's always a good item. It's technically a tank killing item, and the enemy team doesn't technically have a tank. Camille gets tanky, but she's not a tank. So that's where, it could be Triforce, but it's Divine Sunderer, because it's just generically good. But yeah, so those Scuttle Crabs, the reason why they're so important is it's the neutral camps. Is both junglers can do all the farm in their jungle, and they'll be even on XP. The differences come, obviously, with kills and assists. You can get experience by killing people, obviously. But those Scuttle Crabs are neutral XP that only one jungler can get. That's also how you build a lead in XP in the jungle. Massive kill up in top lane for Gwen. And now Dragon is spawning in less than a minute. And these two, the combo champions, the Yasuo Vi, are looking for a heavy pick. So this is something Vi can do. She's behind the enemy turret. She just gets hit by one tower. She ults him into the Yasuo ultimate. And bam, they get the kill. Unfortunately, the Zyra picks it up. Of all people, all of those people in that situation, the one you wouldn't have wanted to get that was Zyra. Arguably, you would have wanted that to go to the Jhin, because he has yet to get a kill. But still, that's a big shutdown. The Draven at the time was 5-0. So that is not bad at all. And that is, I'd say, also the negative, obviously, of Pyke. I do like the champion, but he's a roaming support. And his Draven, who's 5-0, you should be really continuing that snowball. Meanwhile, the engage happens, Zyra ultimates to separate everybody. Yeah, but meanwhile, like, the Draven is 5-0. Is he now not going to snowball anymore because he's now outnumbered in bot lane? You should probably try to press the advantage of a fed Draven, not ignore him, or not help him anymore. But this, I would say, is not a great situation. So Dragon is spawned. Vi is half health. Also, Jhin is basing. You're losing all pressure on the Dragon. So right now, I'd probably expect blue team. They're probably just going to abandon this Dragon. And yes, that's not very good. You're giving 2 Dragon advantage to the enemy team. But as I mentioned, the blue team arguably does scale. So don't risk the game now. If they get the Dragon, they also get 2 or 3 extra kills. Then they'll kill mid lane tower. That's a little mistake by Vi. That's momentum back in their favour. In the last minute or two, blue team has been getting a lot of stuff in this game. And yes, losing the Dragon sucks, but yeah, don't risk the game. It's not worth it. That's smart. That is obviously that is smart to not fight for that right now, because the Draven, unless you chain CC him, if he's in an open fight, he is going to be scary. And yes, if you just Vi ultimate him with a Yasuo combo, it should be okay, but it's risky in a team fight situation. Alright, so Vi, same level as Camille, that's pretty good going. Fights it, so it throws a weird combo there with Vi ulti and Camille E. She threw the red smite out, so the true damage will kick in. The auto-attack damage is coming in, and then the Yasuo picks up the kill. Honestly, the Vi had that Camille's number. I think most of us would agree. Vi just straight up was winning that fight. And that does show how strong Vi is. Camille is known to be the most like OP top laner right now. This Camille is in relative strength in the game. They all just have their mythic item right now. So that was just mythic item versus mythic item, and Vi was wrecking face. So that is, and obviously part of that will be the element of surprise. Yasuo finds a Shaco. Vi hits the Shaco. Vi hits the Shaco into the Yasuo combo. Instant Shaco death. He is very much struggling now in this game. And Yasuo going to continue going for it. Will Lissandra die? Yes, she will. And there is also a Camille. She teleported in mid lane. And these two just smashing auto attacks on the Camille. And boom, Vi gets herself on a killing spree. So these two are working very well together. Obviously, I want to show how Vi works. But this so far has also been a massive, like, yeah, play Yasuo with Vi and play Vi with Yasuo. You can clearly see it works really well. So now after that nice triple kill, Vi's gone over for the Rift Herald. Really good decision. Honestly, the fact that Vi has got both Rift Heralds this game against a early game Shaco is very good. Quite bad by the Shaco to let that happen, to be honest. And yes, he's got both dragons, but Rift Heralds are also a very big objective in the early game that you are giving hundreds of gold away by the Rift Herald just smashing onto the tower. Pyke in the area. Vi might look for engage. Here we go. Bam, bam, into the Yasuo ultimate. Unfortunately, they don't manage to kill him just with the E and then the flash. The Pyke will live. Will he, though? No. Vi's ulting. There is a Camille nearby. We don't know where Shaco is right now. One more auto. Oh, does get the auto, but doesn't do enough damage, and that will be that. They got to be very careful. They are behind enemy territory. Top lane, will they go down? They do. The smite actually picks up that kill, I think, or something weird happened. Draven is now here. Shaco's in bot lane. He is the wrong side of the map. Obviously, he's just looking for a pick on the Lucian, who's quite weak right now. But that is the wrong position for Shaco. He needed to be top lane to help this fight. So all in all, just one kill, believe it or not, on the Lissandra, but advantage once again to blue team. They have now taken the kill lead, and they have now taken the gold lead. So it's really good by them. 5-3-7 Vi. She's been involved in 12 kills, this game, out of 14. She's doing great, and that's from a bad start. So that does show there's some people out there that, especially in the jungle, I've had a bad start, this game's over. Well, Vi as a champion at least, it's not over. She's actually still not bad at all. So she's actually gone, which I don't have to agree with everything that happens in these commentaries. I definitely wouldn't have gone Thornmail second. So I get why she's done it. Pyke is AD. Draven's fed and he's an AD. Camille is AD. Shaco's AD. It's a lot of armor Thornmail. She finds an enemy team. They're going for the kill. Yasuo is in the area. Unfortunately, ults the wrong thing. Vi ulti. Shaco's nearly dead. Yasuo doing some damage. They get the kill 1. They get the kill 2. And Vi survives half health. She's very tanky and does decent damage. But I personally, Draven died, by the way, in mid lane, 2v1. Draven is going to, the strength of Draven is starting to fall off, especially in a 2v1. But personally, I don't know if I would have done Thornmail second. Maybe like a Deadman or something that still helps Vi with the movement speed and like engaging and stuff like that. I just think would have been maybe a little bit better, but it's still not, it's not bad. In this game particularly. In a standard game, I definitely wouldn't go Thornmail second. In this game, where it's a very heavy AD game, like the Lissandra, Lissandra doesn't do insane damage. She does more than I think people think. I've played Lissandra myself recently into the Camille, very nice by the Vi, but she doesn't do like hyper carry damage that does a Lissandra, and she's not even doing that well this game. So that's why you don't really have to itemize against that. Obviously, a lot of the time the standard build I think for Vi is you get your Mythic and then you go Asterix. Maybe that's what she's building now. I'd presume so. But that is it. The enemy team actually have surrendered. So this game, it's just a bit of like a hint of how to play Vi. The early game went bad, but it shows you can still recover your match. And just very basic mechanics on Vi. She tried, if I'm not mistaken, to do the flash combo once with her Q. And that was right down in bot lane at the beginning of the game. And it didn't go very well. So that does show you don't have to do that mechanic. You can play very, very basic and it works. So hopefully you guys just got a bit of a hint of how to play Vi in this game. If you did, do throw a like on the video. Let me know which champion you want me to cover next. I'm probably going to cover a bunch of the arcane champions and watching and even playing them myself. I do have a Jace game, either that's already been uploaded or will be coming very soon. So I don't need to watch a Jace because I've played that myself, and Jace was one of my best champions. But I might give a really good Heimer a watch because Heimer's in the series. And I probably will give a really good Jinx and Caitlyn a watch as well. Because why not? We want to learn about these champions. A lot of people are excited about these champions, which is good. But that's going to be it. If you guys enjoy, throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.